Another year, another season, more animes. What a great time to be alive. What's that? You don't know what you should watch this season? Well, I pity you, cause the best answer is just watch everything. At least the first episode and see if you like them. But of course, not all of us got the time nor the interest in that, which is why I'm here to introduce you or guide you in a sense to the season's catalog. This is not going to be a full-blown review, just a more fun, lighthearted first impressions on the animes. I'm only going to be mentioning the new animes because the continuing ones you probably already know from previous seasons. And so, without further ado, Winter 2023 animes. First up, Ningen Fushin. Are you bored of the normal banished hero setting? Well, I got good news for you. Meet innovation. Instead of one character's revenge, now there's four. Decent character building with a variety of characters, each character experiencing a 180-degree personality change. Not bad for the adventure fantasy viewers. Not enough innovation for you? Fine. Banish from the hero party, banish from the demon army. In my 30s. I want to continue watching this series just to see the actual plot involving the demon army. The power system is somewhat unique, definitely a fantasy series worth looking into. The MC is also OP, so yeah, chillin' in my 30s after being fired from the demon army. But you know who else is chillin'? Himuro, aka the Ice Guy. Turn off the lights, roll up in your blankie and watch the show. Legit perfect for the slow and chill vibes of the winter season. Adorable romance, both characters are really chill and sweet. Almost as sweet as a silver sugar from a sugar apple, courtesy of Sugar Apple Fairy Tale. In this show, we have Shalf Shal who is so hot, he's sure to warm up your winter days. Personally, one of the better romance series this season, at least so far. The contrasting personalities of the two MCs makes for a great romance. The cold-hearted Shalf Shal and the kind fairy activist on, especially when this is one of the times when the male MC is the tsundere. Other than the romance, there's also the world building to enjoy, with the fairies and the lore of the sugar apple, and I'm really vibing the animation. Another series with a great duo of contrasting personalities is The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess. Got nothing much to say for this anime other than nice female duo. To me, the highlight of this show is the characters, namely the two MCs. A story of two unrequited love. Anisfia's love for magic was not returned and thus magicless, while Euphilia's devoting love for nobility led to public censure. And you know what happens when your love is not returned? Yes, you move on. Instead of Anisfia loving magic, Anisfia loved Euphilia, brought her to her room, on her bed, slept with her, Yuri stuff happened, Anisfia best girl, happily ever after, the end, beautiful. But you know what's even beautiful? A nice set of females. Why 2 when you can have 8? There should be one for everyone, though I'm still gonna wait before picking best girl. Maybe I'll just pick the teacher instead cause he's pretty chill and cool. One of my most anticipated shows this season. In the second episode, the girls finally began their first spy mission. Hopefully we can have a bit more background for each of the girls, but overall definitely looking forward to watching the show. Farming Life in Another World. If you truly want to know what the show is about, read the title. It's Farming Life in Another World. This guy got isekai'd and went farming. I'm not vibing this show much. I'm only curious in watching how things will develop and all. This show is somehow educational in regards to a lot of farming related stuff. I'm not sure how much of it is true though. If watching someone build a village in the middle of the forest is your thing, then go for it. But for me, instead of farming, I'd rather watch some cooking in Another World. Strong first episode, like Farming in Another World, is slice of life, not many events, at least in the first episode, but the animation here is really nice. Each character is really kind and peaceful, no antagonist, Mappa doing their job, you know. Unlike farming, in my opinion, cooking is much more enjoyable to watch. The food looks really delicious, feeling pretty optimistic for the show. Though stepping away from the fantasy world and heading back to reality, but at the same time not reality, because there's no angel next door. A really peaceful and wholesome anime. Really raw, no abnormal activities, nor major twists, nor plot events, just a nice simple premise of a nobody boy hanging out with a perfect girl. Kinda generic, but a lot of praise was given to this series. It makes me want to read the manga. Another romance in the season is Endo and Kobayashi. Interesting premise and direction, but I'm not exactly feeling the romance, maybe not yet. I hope there's more focus on Endo and Kobayashi, cause that's where I mainly feel the romance. It's marked for comedy, fantasy, and romance in my anime list, but I don't think the series played well in those genres, maybe not yet. Lancelot is a cute tsundere, but if you keep mentioning that fact, it's kinda doing the opposite effect. I've heard the manga is popular and good, so I guess I'll keep on watching it. Okay, settle down, neats. We're about to touch into some more serious talk with the next few animes here. First up, Ars no Kyoju, aka Beast of Ars. I'm being real, this show is the second show I'm actually looking forward to watching every week, cause so far it's an amazing fantasy series. The personalities and chemistry between the three major characters are really entertaining. The pacing of the introduction of the characters was really well done. The two mains were given some amount of background but was still left plenty of room to discover their true precise past. There's just a lot of events and lore unfolding within this world, the power system, the army's attentions to Empire, the giants, and that one scene where a random woman was talking to an old man that seems to be of significance to the show. And with so many magic-based adventure fantasy series this season, I think Ars no Kyoju just stands out with its own premise, world building, and animation style. I know this is an overly repetitive line, but the series did feel like a movie to me. Truly unexpected, I'm glad I watched it. Trigun, all I have to say is, banger animation. The background, the perspectives, well made. I'm still not a fan of CGI characters, especially in the foreground, but the characters, despite being CG, was still able to convey emotions pretty well, and the movements were pretty smooth. Story-wise though, definitely got me hooked. That fight scene, if you know, you know, that was fire. The antagonist seems like a great villain. I can't say much in regards to the comparison with the original series. I might have to rewatch it, but it looks like a solid remake. However, Trigun's animation sadly was beaten by none other than Nier Automata. That was one of the best use of CG and 2D I have ever watched. Full-on CGI is one thing, but blending CG and 2D, that's how I prefer CG is used, maintaining 2D foreground characters. I don't play the game, I can't go on much in comparing the two, but it was really action-packed. Robots versus humans in a dystopian world is kinda generic, so I'm still paying attention to the story and its direction, but thank you that it does include some romance and emotional side to it as well. Really promising. While still on the topic of CGI though, there's another full-on CG series, Kaina of the Great Snow. I didn't thought I would enjoy this show as much as I did. The world building is fast and unique, and the CGI just helps so much in depicting this dystopian world. Typically, I wouldn't go for dystopian world settings, it always seems so generic, but Kaina did a great job. I love the two different worlds or societies, alongside the fantasy creatures as well. Really nice world building. I hope the problem that Lilia mentioned in regards to her home land or whatever, it's not some generic issue like poverty or politics. More on under the radar animes this season is Mononogatari. No, it does not have any connection with the Monogatari series. These days, the world building of spirits and following the life of an exorcist is really generic. But what attracts me the most is the MC. Hyoma hates spirits so much that he just beats them up before sealing them, instead of conversing with them peacefully, which is a personality typical of a side character or villain. I think it's a nice twist compared to the lovey-dovey peaceful MC trope. The other character cast so far got my attention. Animation was much better than I expected. Power system looks pretty promising, with spirits being able to transform into what they possess, and each clan having their own unique abilities. Looks like an interesting action anime overall, definitely will recommend. And we're back to the adventure fantasy series. This one is more on the promising side, cause a handyman is a really interesting choice of specialty in a fantasy world. So far the series is episodic, which is surprisingly a good thing cause it does bring in the comedy, with the dichotomic characters such as an extremely manly fighter loving dogs and the human king conversing with the demon king. Hopefully at some point the show becomes more plotty and changes the overall pattern of the show. Though it was really wholesome seeing Saito's part accepting him after seeing Saito's backstory. A fun and entertaining show with surprisingly great animation. I'm really sorry, but I'm just not vibing this one. You know, it's slice of life business-ish vibes with the MC trying to earn money with the power she has to move between worlds. It's technically a unique premise, but I think the animation threw me off. I would have preferred something a bit more aesthetic to counterbalance the slice of life vibes, so yeah. In contrast though, we got my highlight of the season. The number one show I'm looking forward to watching every week, presenting Onichan wa Oshimai. Surprisingly, it's not for children. Why, you ask? Because there's dirty jokes and all. Like, I know there's a censorship issue going on, but I got to watch the version with the orgasm scene, and there was also topics about, about being excited, which adds to the comedy. The animation is one of the best for a slice of life I've ever seen. Ignore what I said about the animation of Nier and Trigun. Onimai is on a different level. It's just so smooth for a 2D animation. I don't know if there's 3D rotoscoping, but I just love the animation. The OP and ending as well. I've listened to them a dozen times. This show just made my whole year. That was an amazing New Year's present. And this show reminded me again why slice of life, cute girls doing cute things is the best genre. But of course, if cute girls doing cute things is not your thing, how about chat guys doing chat things? No, not Anos Season 2, but the Ice Blade Sorcerer. Really interesting take in magic, somehow involving coding. Not bad, really comparable to the Foldy Goat anime. Currently, still introducing the characters and life in the academy. Generic setting but enjoyable nonetheless. Chat guys doing chat things not your thing as well? Well, how about cute girls doing chat things? Honestly, I'm a bit annoyed with the setting because it seems too forced in trying to make a character look cool and epic enemy moments. Kinda over the top with the being OP thing. The power system with Magicite and Aether is what made the show worth watching, as well as the female duo, and that the MC's goal is quite different, which is to simply pursue swordsmanship to the best that she can. A similar series to Reborn to Master the Blade is Psyche on Myoji. Both involves OP Isekai MCs born into a noble family, so somewhat generic. The main attraction this time for me is the power system of the MC with the Shikigami abilities as compared to normal magic, as well as the fact that the MC is chill and cool. Back again to romance, Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible. Nice, sweet romance school anime. I love the inclusion of the moe style. I didn't mention this earlier, but similar with Angel Spoils Me Rotten, I hope as the series proceeds, it gets into the more doki doki romance stuff. I know, and not simply the slice of life school direction. And now we're approaching the final 3. Moe Ippon, or Ippon again. The show is wholesome in depicting the characters' love for judo. It simply shows the characters' school life having fun with one another. It's very lively, a lot of energy, and the characters' personalities are nice. I love Michi's voice acting. But the main thing that puts me down is the animation and the characters' aesthetics. Otherwise, I'd love the show much more. Moving on though, one of the 2 new idol animes this season. Not an idol anime fan, nor an idol fan, more so when it's a boy, not even a fan of pop songs in general, but I'm trying to widen the genres I'm watching. I like how it's not only focusing solely on the idol music genre. Then again, part of the genre is sci-fi. It has a bit of drama, so not bad. But the characters are so much colors on the character design. I don't like cyborgs. And I didn't like how the 4 mains suddenly was able to perform well at the end of the episode, even though at the beginning they were horrible. So yeah, I'm not sure if I want to continue to watch this season. Last and definitely least, the other idol anime, Unite Up. Between the 2 new idol animes, I'm more for Unite Up. I prefer the natural realistic setting of Unite Up compared to the sci-fi technoroid. Love the bromance. The characters are solid, each adapting their own personality and stuff. I'm not a fan of idols as I said, but watching how the idols in the series are established and how the company functions is surprisingly interesting. Maybe because it's one of my first idol animes, but you know what? I'm enjoying it, that's all that matters. And with that, that's all. There are some missing newbies, but I just didn't have access to watch them. It's a shame, I really wanted to watch Revenger, High Card, and Buddy Daddies. Tomo-chan had a lot of buzz recently as well. However, the current catalog is still nice nonetheless. Just to make it simpler, here's a summary. For romance, this season we have Kubo, Angel Spoils Me Rotten, Ice Sky, Sugar Apple Fairy Tail, Endo Kobayashi, and Tomo-chan. Among them, the one I'm vibing the most is Sugar Apple Fairy Tail and Angel Spoils Me Rotten. For adventure fantasy, I'm rooting for Sugar Apple Fairy Tail and Ars no Kyoju. For isekai, I'd recommend Handyman Saito and Psyche on Myoji. Shows with OP characters, we got Ice Blade Sorcerer, Psyche on Myoji, Reborn to Master the Blade, and chillin' in my 30s after fired from the Demon Army. Idol animes, there's Unite Up and Technoroid Overmind. I'm more for Unite Up. If you're searching for a slower paced wholesome anime, I'd go for Cooking in Another World and Angel Spoils Me Rotten. If you want more world building related series, I recommend Kaina of the Great Snow. For heavy story based, Trigun, Kaina, Ars no Kyoju, and Nier. Action, I recommend Ars no Kyoju, Mononogatari, Nier, and Trigun. Series I'm loving the most, number 1, Onimai. and then Arsenal Kyoju. There you go. Generally, most of the series are nice even if I didn't recommend it at the end, at least worth giving a shot. Of course, it was just first impressions, who knows what will happen as the season proceeds. I might be dropping 1 or 2 series soon. I'll pick them up if there's a buzz on the internet or the story develops in a way that interests me. Feel free to let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to know what you guys are vibing this season. Oh, there's also Inukai-san, if you're not already in Santa's naughty list.